Okay, imagine this. A system that's designed to put power directly into the hands of the people. You know, a way for you to hold the government accountable for every single penny it spends. Sounds like the perfect democratic tool, right? But what if? What if that whole system is just an elaborate performance? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on something called the social audit to find out if it's delivering real justice or if it's all just for show.
So the core idea we're digging into is the social audit. Now, in India, this is supposed to be a total game changer for massive rural development programs, like the MGNREGA employment scheme or the PMAY-G housing program. We're not just talking about line items in a budget here. This is about real people's wages, about putting a safe roof over a family's head. The social audit is what lets local communities look at the official books and say, hold on a second, this road was never actually built, or that person never got their housing money. It's a promise of radical, on-the-ground transparency.
And it's a brilliant concept on paper, for sure. But the real question, the one that matters is, does it actually work? Because when you start looking for the proof, for evidence that the problems they find are actually getting fixed, well, the picture starts to get a little blurry.
This question, and we've pulled this straight from our source material, really gets to the heart of the problem. It focuses on the official group in the Indian state of Meghalaya. That's the Meghalaya Society for Social Audit and Transparency, or MSSAT for short. They're the ones responsible for this whole process. So you can think of this question as the one loose thread we're about to pull on, just to see if the whole thing unravels.
So what happens when you start pulling on that thread and digging for answers? Well, you start to find that a lot of the results are just missing. So let's follow the evidence trail together and see exactly where it goes cold.
The first major red flag you run into is a huge delay in public reporting. I mean, for a system that's built entirely on the idea of transparency, not having timely, accessible information is a fundamental breakdown. It's simple. Without current data, you can't have current accountability.
And here's the number that really makes this tangible. The last detailed, comprehensive public report from that official body we mentioned, MSSAT, is from the financial year that ended in 2020. That's a multi-year information blackout. In a world of real-time data, that kind of delay makes any meaningful public oversight pretty much impossible.
Now, to be fair, some data does get uploaded to official government websites. But here's the catch. It's often buried deep inside these super complex portals. They're hard to navigate, and it's all presented in a way that the average citizen, the very person this system is supposed to empower, can't easily find or even understand it. Transparency isn't just about data existing somewhere. It's got to be accessible.
Look, a social audit is supposed to have teeth. Its whole purpose is to find problems and then trigger some real consequences. But instead, what we find is a complete action blackout. The most critical outcomes, like recovering stolen money, filing police reports against offenders, or taking action against corrupt officials, they're just not publicly tracked. There's no dashboard, no scoreboard, nothing.
So when you have a process that has no visible, no trackable results, what's really going on? Is this a system that's actually delivering justice, or is it all just theater? This question really gets to the core of the whole argument.
Let's just pause on that for a second. What do you call a system that's excellent at listening to problems, at documenting complaints, but then provides absolutely no public proof that any of those problems are ever solved?
Well, our source material has a powerful and pretty provocative answer. It calls this system a grievance theater. It's like a stage that's been set up for people to come and voice their frustrations, to vent, but it's just a performance that, in the end, leaves the underlying broken system completely untouched.
It is so important to understand this concept. Grievance theater is all about the illusion of accountability. You get the public hearings, you get the officials taking notes, you get that feeling of being heard, but it's missing the actual substance, the enforceable consequences. It's a ritual, not a real remedy.
But this isn't just about critiquing a broken system, it's also a call to action. The source material actually gives us a really clear guide for how you can investigate this for yourself and start demanding some real answers. It's a simple three-step process. First up, ask. Straight up ask officials, where is the public dashboard showing the outcomes from recent social audits? Where is it? Second, verify. Go to a public hearing in your own area. See it with your own eyes. Count how many issues are raised by the community versus how many are actually officially recorded for action. And third, challenge. Use the system's own tools, like a right to information or RTI request, to demand the hard data. Ask how much money was identified as stolen and how much of it was actually recovered.
And all of this brings us to the final thought we want to leave you with. It's a question that gets to the very, very heart of this entire topic. If the results of a process that's specifically designed to ensure accountability are kept hidden from the public,
Is it really accountability, or is it just theater?